is well with everybody. Hi, we're gonna get started. I hope that you are having an amazing Monday. If you're watching this later on YouTube, because I do post my lives later on YouTube, it probably won't be Monday because we post Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I just hope all is well and that you are having a good start to your week. If you are at work, if you're off, I hope you're having a great time off. Today we're going to be talking about more on hormones when it comes to women's hormone health and understanding how our bodies aren't broken, but rather we're not listening to it and it's asking for us to listen. My dog is right here, so if you see me looking down at her, it's because she's sniffing and bothering me. She wants to lay her head on me, and I've moved her multiple times, but she keeps coming back, so I'll just let her be. And I will be the one that's uncomfortable sitting right now, so it's okay. But this is deeper than just a wellness talk. This is going to be diving more into activation and understanding how to reclaim this for you yourself and remembering what your true authentic feeling when it comes to your body's symptoms and signs are supposed to feel like, and knowing what the body is supposed to feel like when you are aligned, when you are in the right space, when you are supporting the body. Because too many of us are sitting here in a system of survival, and we're not realizing that we're stuck in a system of survival. And there are many women walking around here exhausted, and they're thinking that there's something wrong with their biology. They're sitting here dealing with the issue of their hormones being out of balance, and they think that there's something wrong with their biology. And we're performing at high levels, but we're feeling like something is off, and something is off, and something is wrong. And when you come to that realization of the fact that there is something wrong, don't sit there and judge yourself and think that there's something wrong with you. Don't think that you have done something wrong to yourself and blame yourself, but start to understand that, okay, if there is something off and there is something wrong, I need to get to the root cause of what has happened and why it's happening so that I can get to the space of what is authentically me. Reclaiming what is supposed to be my life, not being on survival mode, but being comfortable, educating yourself on how your body is supposed to operate every single month, understanding that connection and why you are in the space of disconnection right now, and getting past that silent struggle of thinking that symptoms and signs are the problem, thinking that the symptoms and the signs are something to be treated with a momentary band-aid. But realizing that these symptoms and signs are signals from the body letting you know that something is off and is easily fixable when you simplify the situation. But when you're constantly doing diet culture and constantly believing in a system that poisons you and believing in a system that does not want you to heal and wants you surviving, you are never going to find that healing that you were looking for. You are never going to get to the internal space of feeling good, looking good. And you're going to consistently be managing. And so when you want that body connection back and you want to stop with the silent struggles, you're going to realize that eating clean isn't a punishment. You working out isn't the punishment. You not moving is the punishment towards your body. Eating clean, but you're still bloated. Working out, but then you have an energy crash and you're trying to figure out why you have no energy. Waking up, working out, doing what you're supposed to be doing, calorie counting, restricting, fasting. You're journaling, you're meditating, you're using supplements, but yet something is still off with your body. Your cycle is painful. You're sitting here dealing with energy crashes. You're bloated, you're anxious, you're having panic attacks, your sleep is inconsistent, and your mood is all over the place, and you're having these intense cravings, and you're trying to figure out why in the world does it feel like they have their mind of their own. And it's because you don't feel safe in your own body. All of these are signals from your body to let you know that it's dysregulated. And you don't feel safe in your body because you have not allowed your body to be able to trust yourself. You cannot trust yourself subconsciously and consciously right now. So you make the terrible habits consciously and subconsciously without even really actively doing them. And how I know this, and I really want to break this down for you, is when you are having a sugar craving and you consume sugar, do you go for fruits or do you go for sweet processed snacks? This is how you know when you are disconnected. Because when you're having sugar cravings, what do you reach for? What is the first thought that you have? When you are naturally craving sugar, not natural sugars, but you are naturally trained to crave sugar. So after you eat, now you want a sweet treat. After a long day, you want a sweet treat. You have trained your body to rely on food for a dopamine stimulation, as well as the fact that you have trained your cravings so heavily to the point where you don't even crave fruits anymore when you want sweets, when your insulin is spiked. Because a lot of you are not realizing when you are craving sugar after your meals, when you're craving sweets to be specific, you have spiked your insulin and now you're expelling more sugar than what you can replace. And so now your body is going, well, I need sugar for energy because I'm going to convert this into energy later on. I'm going to use this for such and such. So what instead I'm going to do is have them eat the terrible toxic sugar that I know they're going to eat, because subconsciously we do this every day. And then you consistently do this every single day, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And then we wonder why all of a sudden now we have insulin resistance, why we're now pre-diabetic, or we develop diabetes in general. And specifically for women, because I do talk to men, but majority of the clients that I have and the women that I work with, the people that I work with are women. We aren't taught how to sync with our cycle. So I'm going to ask you this question as a woman. Do you know that you go through an insulin resistant time every single month? So every single month you are more resistant to insulin than any other time of the month. And so if you don't know what insulin resistance is, it's your body's literal response to sugar. Your cells at some point after you throwing your body off, being imbalanced and being disconnected, can no longer respond to sugar properly. And so then you develop an insulin resistant state. So think about this in your brain, how every single month women go through a state of being insulin resistant more than any other cycle forming phase. And yet we don't know the phases of our cycle so that we can avoid eating the things that make us more in an insulin resistant state that we already naturally are. Isn't that a disconnect? That women don't even realize that we go through insulin resistance every single month, nor do we really know what it is. Besides this fact that, oh, that's how you get diabetes, or oh, that means you have diabetes, right? But we do it every single month. And a lot of women are not realizing when y'all get pregnant and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I developed diabetes. This is crazy. I only had diabetes during my pregnancy. It's because the same thing. Your hormones were off before you got pregnant. You didn't do anything to balance them or help them. And then you get pregnant and you do the same terrible toxic habits. You're already in an insulin resistant state. And then your body is going through all the hormonal changes of your pregnancy. And then throughout that time of you being pregnant, you having all these hormonal changes, you don't change anything that you eat, but rather you increase the amount that you eat of those terrible foods. And so then you go through this full 9 months of you increasing what you eat and then still not changing how you eat. And now you develop diabetes and you're confused 6 months in how you have gestational diabetes. It's not because it just came because you're pregnant. It's because it was already there brewing. And the pregnancy activated it enough to let you know, hey, now you have diabetes. It triggered enough warning signs to let the doctors be able to pinpoint to say, oh, now you have diabetes. Because the insulin resistance was already there. So any person that you go to as a woman, if they say that they are not insulin resistant, if they say they don't know, they already don't know the phases of their cycle. That's how I can tell right then and there if a woman is synced with their cycle or if they're not. Because if you do not know that you go through an insulin resistant time every single month, you're not operating in the space of being balanced with your own body. So this is the reason why you feel inconsistent with your sleep. I heard trying to move over here. This is the reason why you feel bloated. This is the reason why you're having energy crashes. Because when you do start to eat with the formation of what your cycle is, you're already going to be eating a rainbow plate. You're already going to be using food as your medicine. You're going to understand how important it is to balance your sleep, balance your mood, understanding how these cravings are tailored by what you eat, and you train them into yourself. So your body naturally didn't come out the womb craving sugar and sweets and chocolate and processed snacks and dairy and meat and all the other things that you eat on a regular basis. It's trained. Because when we first were brought here, the only thing that we used to survive was milk. And then as soon as you finally start to develop teeth and you were in the space where now you need to start eating solids or you need to start using purees, they give you pureed potatoes, carrots. You sit here and you get pureed peas. You get fruits and vegetables. They don't start introducing in meats. They don't start introducing in dairy until you start to develop teeth. But how come that baby can survive off of just milk and fruits and vegetables in the beginning? And then now all of a sudden, when you become an age where you develop teeth, that you have to have meat in order for you to get protein. You have to have meat for your healthy fats. When there's literal avocados who give you both. There's chickpeas, there's mushrooms, there's a plethora of mushrooms, there's lentils, legumes. And all of these are not only healthy fats and healthy proteins, but they're going to give you everything that you need for you to be able to still be in a space of flushing, reset, feeling good. Getting rid of this inconsistency when it comes to your mood, your sleep, your cravings, dealing with this bloating for no reason. The disconnect is costing you not only your mental health, because a lot of y'all are thinking that you're inconsistent and you're lazy and you can't do it. So then it's making you have a negative connotation against yourself, your own health, your own body. And in reality, it's not because you can't do it. It's because you don't know how to do it. You haven't simplified it. Your hormones are off and they're signaling problems. So then now you're sitting here thinking that you're lazy, but in reality, you have no energy because your hormones are so thrown off. You're sitting here getting communicated with your body through PMS signs, brain fog, anxiety, fatigue, weight resistance, all this weight gain, or you sitting here not being able to hold a healthy weight. And these are feedback signs. I'm going to say feedback signals from your system to let you know it's overstimulated, it's malnourished, and on top of that, it's misaligned with its natural rhythm. And so when you're sitting here and you think that, oh, I'm just going to do a diet really quickly, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do a diet. I don't want to do a surgery, so I'm just going to do Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, keto or paleo. I'm going to do this for a couple of months. And then you're wondering why all of a sudden, now when you go back, you've gained the weight back, you don't feel good as you were before. You're sitting here thinking like, oh, maybe the diet didn't work or maybe I didn't do it right. But in reality, it's because you never changed your habits. So you never looked at what was on your plate. You never digested the fact that, okay, maybe I am eating and using endocrine disruptor products. Maybe I am sitting here being nutrient deficient rather than using dense foods. I'm sitting here using restrictive diets, stressing myself out, using birth control, consuming coffee every single morning or throughout the day so I can have energy. You're sitting here, and on top of that, y'all don't realize that a lot of y'all's coffee beans, majority of them are heavily sprayed with pesticides. So then you're sitting here thinking that, oh, my perfume makes me smell good. I'm going out. I want to smell good, right? You're spraying it on your intimate parts, your lymph nodes. You're spraying it on your veins. This is getting absorbed into your bloodstream. Same thing with the bleach that you use, the Lysol you're spraying in the air. These are all endocrine disruptors. And then you think, well, I need to clean my house and my house has to be clean or I have to smell good. But you're not realizing that you can make this in a non-toxic form because they have heavily programmed you, because when you see a commercial and you recognize the Clorox wipes, oh, I need to go get me some Clorox wipes from the store. Oh, that Sprite looks good. I'm going to go to McDonald's and I'm going to go get the fizziest Sprite that I possibly can. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ooh, a chicken sandwich sound good right now. Popeyes comes on. Oh, I really want to go get some shrimp and some chicken sandwiches. You're programmed subconsciously and consciously, because I know is when that Sprite commercial comes on and you hear that, your mouth starts watering. When you see that commercial of those Oreos and you ain't had Oreos in a minute, ooh, they got a new Oreo coming out. I think I'm going to try that Oreo. You don't look at any labels. You don't even know what's in it. Y'all see the fact that it says 0% sugar or 0% added sugar in something, and y'all get so excited because you're like, oh my goodness, this has got to be healthy. This is going to be good, right? You're sitting here so excited because you're like, oh, this new soda has no 0% sugar, even though it's sweet as all get out. So then you're not questioning anything because it says 0% sugar on it. But you're not realizing that they don't have to add in there when they don't use actual sugar. So like white sugar, brown sugar, cane sugar, whatever sugar product that is labeled as sugar, they don't have to put it on that label because that's not sugar. So then you don't have to add in the sugar. So they could still be using aspartame. That's a liquid form of sugar that's not categorized in what they maintain as sugar that has to be labeled. Aspartame causes cancer. Aspartame is a sweetener that's not natural. They can even sit there and put different types of syrups in it. For example, like agave, and wouldn't have to tell you because that's a natural sweetener that's not actual sugar. But agave is a natural sweetener. And usually when they use agave and things, because they tell you all over your alcohol, they're going to tell you because it's a natural sweetener. It's good for you. It's not only having health benefits, but it also tastes good because it's sweet. It's great for people who have diabetes because it's a high when it comes to being a little bit, using a little bit is really, really sweet. But when you use too much, it affects your A1C. But they label it on everything that they use. They're going to say it's 100% pure agave. Your alcohol, your sweets, because they do have that out there, but you're not looking for it because you don't read your labels. So when you go and you pick up those Oreos and that Sprite because you're so excited to have your weekend off, you're going to stimulate your dopamine by sitting in front of your TV, watching your TV, eating your snack and drinking your Sprite. And then you wonder why you've eaten a whole roll of Oreos while all of a sudden now you're back and forth to the bathroom all night and you're not feeling good. Or you wake up on Saturday, Sunday, whatever day that after you ate it, or Monday after you had a long weekend of eating junk, and then you wonder why on Monday you're depressed. You wonder why on Monday you have no energy. You're wondering why on Monday you hate everything and you don't want to go to work. Because you have literally set yourself up for 2, 3, 4 days in a row of eating junk, stimulating your dopamine, making your blood sugar spike, having no regulation, not even knowing what's in these foods that you're eating. Your Oreos sitting there with titanium dioxide, citric acid, all types of soy, but it tastes good though. When you look at McDonald's, I did this probably like a year or two ago. It's been quite a while, many videos in between. When you look at McDonald's and you look at the ingredients to be specific, majority of McDonald's products has either titanium dioxide or some type of sodium phosphate or some type of mixture of titanium, sodium, something dioxide-ish. Majority of the menu. There's nothing on there that has no additives. And I did a deep dive into research. And this is going to lose a lot of people because it hurts y'all's feelings to know about y'all's fast food that y'all quickly go grab and eat. McDonald's French fries has pork in it. Why do French fries need pork? Every single item down to the drinks has an additive or a filler in it. And this was just for my leisurely exploration of like, okay, let me see what their menu is looking like. Because y'all don't realize the reason why you're so heavily addicted to the foods that you eat when it comes to fast food, and the reason why you keep craving it and going, getting it and spending money there is because of these additives and these fillers. Because without them, the food itself is it's dog water. It's dog food. And not only is it dog food because it's processed, heavily processed, gives you limited nutrition, so they have to add in more nutrition to give you that nutritional value in your food. But how you know it's not working and how you frame your mindset when you start to really understand how food is medicine is because you don't get full off of it. That's why I say it's like dog food. Because think about it. When y'all's dog, if your dog is driven by food, like mine is, and a lot of people's dogs are driven by food, when you give them table food, they beg. When you give them dog food, they're looking for table food. I'm going to say this again. When you have a pet and you give them table food, they beg for table food. When you give them dog food, they beg for table food. You go to these fast food restaurants. You go to your McDonald's, your Red Robins, these chain restaurants. You go to Sonic. You go to In-N-Out. You're going to, Whataburger. You're going to all these different places and you don't get full. Why is that? Why is that you get a whole meal, you spend $10, $20+ because tax is taxing. Depending on where you go, it's 10 or more. You get a whole meal and yet you're not full. Have you seen a male's, because women, I feel like we all have seen a male. Have you seen a male go to Taco Bell? Like really break that down in your head. Have you ever seen a male go to Taco Bell? And when you look at Mexican food in general, even Mexican restaurants, you get a whole lot of food, right? You get a whole lot of food, but you also eat a whole lot of food. And then you eat a whole lot of food, and within a couple of hours, you're hungry again. You eat a whole lot of food. Within 30 minutes, you're sitting here talking about, I need a snack, I need a sweet treat. You go to Taco Bell, you order a chalupa, you order 5 tacos, sit here and order all this different stuff. And I never was a fan of Taco Bell, but when I went to Taco Bell, I needed about 3 or 4 tacos before I could get full. Versus when I go to like and make it myself and actually, or I was like, go to the store and actually make it myself. Let me say that in the correct order. Go to the store and make it myself. I can only eat about like 2 tacos. If I'm eating 3 tacos, I'm not finishing the 3rd taco. I'm eating 3 tacos from Taco Bell, then I'm sitting here like, man, I probably should have got another one. And you know why? Because there's no nutritional value in these foods in their core. So what they do is they add in the titanium dioxide. They add in the sodium phosphate. They add in fake protein. They add in fake fiber so you can go to the bathroom after you eat. And none of this can be used and absorbed inside of your body correctly. So then what does it do? I'm going to store it inside of your lower belly. I'm going to store it in your face. I'm going to store it in your arms. I'm going to store it in your legs, in your thighs. And then when it has nowhere else to go, it starts to surround the liver. It starts to surround the heart. It starts to surround the kidneys. Now you have kidney disease. Now you have liver disease. Now you have heart disease. Because the liver can only filter so much. The kidneys can only filter so much. And so when you develop that kidney disease, now your blood is tainted. You develop liver issues, now your liver is not filtering, so everything else is becoming toxic. Your intestines, your gut, and then your gut is off, and now you're sitting here wondering why you're anxious when your gut and your brain are directly connected. And it's because you have misaligned routines in every single aspect, because this is what you've been trained into. Go to your 9 to 5. Don't feel like making lunch? It's okay. Go to this fast food spot. That can get you in and out in 5 minutes, and you can enjoy the rest of your hour or 30 or however long. You have misaligned routines in every aspect. Oh, you want to smell good and go on this date? Put this toxic perfume on your face. On your body. Put this toxic makeup on your face. Put these toxic chemicals all over your body to get clean. And then when you go out, you're going to feel good and you're going to look good because you smell like roses. But instead of telling you all you need is a natural body wash, some essential oils of rose oil, and you'll smell just as good as you did with that perfume. Yes, you might not be able to smell it from 20 feet away because it's not an endocrine disruptor. But that's not my business. That's not their business, rather. That's my business. That's his business. This is why I talk to women, because it don't make sense how we are operating, because this is how we're trained into life. We are trained into sitting here thinking that at the end of the day, if it's not working, I just need another Band-Aid. Instead of getting to the root cause by really sitting and assessing the misalignment. Because we don't have time to sit and assess. You're taking care of family, kids, pets if you have them, taking care of everybody else. And then at the end of the day, when you finally sit down, the only thing you can do is stimulate your dopamine. That's it. And your feminine design is suffering so bad to the point where you don't even see the signs from your own cycle. Because that's what happens when your menstrual cycle is painful, when it's off, when it's not operating the way it's supposed to be, when it's long. Y'all are not putting 2 and 2 together of the fact that it's because you're not thriving. And you're not thriving in the space because you weren't designed to sit here and go harder, work harder, do things more difficultly. You were designed to go deeper into thought, not spiral. But you were designed to get to those root causes. You were designed to sit back and actually assess. But so many of us, we are so deep in the so deep in the let me rephrase that actually, because so many of y'all are not aware of the feminine and the masculine aspect balance. Let me rephrase that. Because a lot of y'all are stuck in the masculine, doing and doing and doing for everybody when you need to sit down. But then a lot of y'all are also so stuck heavily in the feminine, and this is the reason why y'all are thinking y'all are lazy and you can't do it. But there's no equal balance of the assessing, sitting back, and not being lazy, but actually taking that and putting the masculine with it so that you take action towards yourself, not somebody else. Not trying to tell somebody else how they go work out. Not telling somebody else how they look good in the mirror while you're sitting there looking at yourself in the mirror and talking about how you've lost weight. You've let yourself go over the years and you need to lose weight. Because we can hype any and everybody else up, but are we hyping ourselves up when we look in the mirror? Are you sitting back and saying, I don't need makeup today because I look good without it? If I choose to put makeup on, I am going to spend that extra money because I deserve it. I work hard for this money. I'm not going to be sitting here thinking, oh, well, that product is $80 and I need all of these different products. So I can go over here and go to the dollar store and get it cheaper. I can go over here and go to Walgreens and get it cheaper. I can go to Walmart and get it cheaper. Knowing that Walmart don't care about you. Walgreens is full of the chemicals, but you can pay that $80. You can look good, and you're not sitting here putting a bunch of chemicals all up and down your face. Because that's the key. Knowing what you deserve versus what you're actually doing. You know you deserve to look better. You know you deserve to talk to yourself correctly. You know you deserve to be healed from the inside out. You know you deserve to know how to sync with your cycle, regulate your blood sugar, be in rhythm with your body. But what are your actions reflecting? I'll do it tomorrow. Actions. I have so much going on today. I'm not important. That's what you're telling your body subconsciously every single time, that you know that you need to change, and you know that diet culture is not working. You don't do anything about it. I'm not that important today. That's what you say. Every single time. It's just like when you do something that you know you don't want to do. That whole construct of you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. But then you're sitting here telling everybody and their mama, yeah, I can take you here. Yeah, I can cook you this. Yeah, I can help you with this. Knowing that you have 20 other things on your plate and you have no time to do this. That's out of sync as well. And those are things that you help heal with yourself, or realizing that you deserve better and getting into that mental space of I take care of myself by giving myself a safe space first. Because when you soften with yourself, everybody else around you is going to feel it and feel safe as well. But when you have no security, when you have no safety in yourself, that foundation has cracks in it, everybody around you feels those cracks. And everybody is going to try to fill them for you instead of you filling them yourself. Because everybody feels the cracks, so they're going to try to fill them for you. And y'all aren't realizing that. And you need to get into the space of realizing that, because we are already in the 2030 agenda and they're filling the cracks for you. Y'all aren't realizing they've been putting cracks in your foundation for years. With this slavery that we are under and we are in, no matter what race you are enslaved by this society when it comes to their programming. And they've been filling the cracks of this terrible foundation that we are under for generations. And they're banking on making more and more money off of the next generation that y'all are raising right now currently, or planning on having, just by them continuing the same program that they have been pushing and just kind of tailoring it a little bit to each generation. Because when you look at each generation and how society is towards each generation, you see the programming in each generation to the point where you can look at them. You ain't have to know their age. You don't have to know what they look like. You don't have, when it comes to like race, you don't have to know where they come from. You just know by what generation they are by their programming, what they believe in. The generation that's still watching the TV, I bet you can name it. When it comes to the news, bet you can name it. And so my point being is that you have to rewire your relationship, not only with food, with products, but also with your spiritual being. Because detoxing is not just about, oh, I'm going to get rid of the chemicals. Oh, I'm just going to get rid of this terrible food and this is going to fix everything. Detoxing and cleansing is about getting rid of the chaos. It's about understanding that cellular reset and that balance to get back in the rhythm that you were looking for. It's not about, oh, I'm just going to do this juice cleanse and it's going to fix everything, or I'm going to follow Jeannie Craig and Weight Watchers, even though they still feed you chemicals in the programs because they're programming you. You have to create a space that not only nutritionally gives you nutritional value, that also makes you feel comfortable and subconsciously retrains you, but also gives you that spiritual, emotional, and physical reconnection to your cycle. Because your cycle is your spiritual being. It's more than just, oh, I'm in pain and I hate it and it's going on. But understanding that your patterns of your habits, when it comes to you not being in rhythm and in sync, is because your hormones keep trying to tell you that I'm in a space that I don't need to be in, and you feel stuck, but you don't know where to guide yourself to get through it. You don't know the simplification of how you can nourish your body and still eat good. You don't understand the fact that there are more and more people eating more plant-based foods every single day. I'm not saying you have to go fully plant-based. If that is what calls you, amazing, because that's what called me. But what I'm saying is, when you have a rocky foundation and you know this, do you build a house on it? When you know the foundation has cracks, you were looking at the bases of the foundation and you see that it's slanted. Do you build the house on it? No, you don't. You start over. So how come you were going to sit here and try to build on a rocky foundation that has cracks that have been filled by other people that have been tried to be filled, even though the foundation is leaning like this? Because you need a restart. You need a reset. You need a new foundation. And for you to get the new healthy foundation you're looking for, it starts with you being plant-based. Everything that you do afterwards, that's up to you. But in order for you to get this balance that you're seeking, the nourishment that you're needing, being in rhythm and in sync with your body, that starts with you first realizing you need to cook more plant-based meals, understand how to read your labels, know how to make non-toxic products, before you decide that you're going to go to the farmer's market and you're going to get the leanest meat that you possibly can. Because a lot of y'all are sitting here talking about how you go get this grass-fed cow and all these different things, which, mind you, these animals are forest dwellers. They're not supposed to just be on a pasture of land of grass, but that's another topic. A lot of y'all aren't even realizing that they don't do soil tests. These farmers, a lot of these farmers that you're putting a lot of trust in, you don't ask them about the soil tests. And so when you sit here and you don't ask them about the soil test, what is this grass-fed cow eating? What are they consuming? What's the nutrients in the soil? Did they detoxify their soil? Do they detoxify their soil? Do they do it with chemicals? Do they treat their land? Like, these are questions that you have to ask. Because a lot of the times, it's going to be a no, they're not using natural products. When it is possible, there are plants that detoxify the ground. But I have farmers in my family that still don't understand the concept of natural, non-chemical, non-toxic products that you use outside. I'm trying to think of systems that you use outside, because they're heavily trained in the system of, what is that thing that gives Roundup? All the other things. I don't know exactly what you use. Miracle Grow. All of these name brand commercial products that are easy and accessible that help the farmer out back in the day. That's what they designed them for, right? But now when you're looking and they're seeing, what did Roundup do? Gave them cancer. What is Miracle Grow? A terrible type of dirt. Terrible products in general. And yet they're still being used, and yet they're still popular because that generation still uses them. And they have trained multiple generations after them to continue using these terrible products. I've had people in my family get cancer from Roundup and still use Roundup. This is what I mean by the programming is so heavy that you don't understand the true value in your own body. Because when you have nothing for it to feed off of, the disease itself to feed off of, your body is going to naturally kill off anything. Flu, what happened in 2020, a parasitic infection, a stomach bug. When it has nothing to feed off of, it cannot thrive in your space. So what is it feeding off of that's allowing you to thrive, in your space? Toxin overload, you're bloating, you sitting here dealing with your fatigue. These are all stemming from something. Your painful menstrual cycle. These are all signs that you have inflammation. Inflammation comes from toxins building up. So what toxin is inside of your body that has built up so much that now it's thriving in your space and allowing disease to thrive as well? And if you are ready to get away from that and you are looking for a system that is going to be able to support you and have a space of not only clarity but simplification, and you are not scared to sit back and be like, okay, things are wrong, they're not working for me, and I can change and I want to change, and be active in that space, I am doing a 4-week cleanse, and for the rest of July, it is only at $111. It's usually priced at $247 for you to get me for 4 weeks straight, and the intensive care that I give during the time that we go through a cleanse so that we reset and we not only understand what's going on inside of our body, but we're guided into the space of nourishment and rhythm and plant-based healing and cycle syncing friendly actual practices that we should be practicing every single day as a woman, but we aren't taught. You'll learn the true language of how your hormones reset and understand how to eat and use food as medicine, how to reset yourself, how to rest and to move and live in alignment with the body. Like I said, it's usually at 2:47, but for the rest of July, because this is my birthday month, I run a special during my birthday month. Usually it's for a master class or something, but I decided I wanted to do something bigger, and so I decided I wanted to do a 4-week cleanse. I just finished my program with one of my wonderful clients. I've been posting her journey throughout on my story. So this is going to be the time where I'm going to be checking in with her as well. So I think it's very impactful to start a cleanse with everybody else who is not in the program, so that we can come together and you can see not only her transformation, but also you can get the results that you were looking for in your transformation, because she did work with me for 6 weeks, but we technically only cleansed for the last week. She saw transformation within the first 3 days of us having our first masterclass, which is living intentionally, flowing energetically. You can purchase that. It is linked in my bio. But that living intentionally, flowing energetically is literally the acronym of life. Within 3 days after she had that, she was feeling better. She was sleeping better. She was eating better. She was not only feeling better, but she was looking better, because people at work were complimenting her. People at work were noticing. What did you do? You've changed. You seem like you're more rested today. You seem more energetic today. And the reason why is because when you start to actually implement the things that work, you don't have to say, oh, I'm on Jenny Craig. Oh, I'm on Weight Watchers. I'm feeling great. People start to see it. You don't have to say anything. And how I know this is because I'm speaking from experience. I have been plant-based almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. Within the first 2 years, I didn't say anything to anybody besides the ones who were like super close to me. I didn't post it on Instagram. I didn't post it on social media. So people who hadn't seen me in a few years, after seeing me before and then seeing me later on, I would just forgot completely. I've gone plant-based. It's been a couple of years. Don't even think about it anymore. I had people coming up to me talking about you've changed. What did you do? Girl, you look amazing. And I'm sitting there looking at them like it's been, a couple of years. I'm looking at them like, what are you talking about? Forgetting what I looked like before. Thank you. Oh, that's amazing. Feeling great. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? They're like, what did you do? You changed. What did you start eating? I'm like, oh, I'm plant-based now. And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat processed snacks. I'm like, the only thing I really eat, I read my labels. And so then the next question I get all the time is, oh, I need to lose weight. I need to do that. I don't know. I can't do plant-based. Well, how did you start losing the weight? I just told you. I just told you how you start losing the weight. I just told you how you start getting the energy. But you can't do that, right? That's what you told yourself. You literally just already triggered something in your brain to say, I can't. Instead of saying, I am going to change my habits. I am going to start doing this. I am going to see the results that I'm looking for. You immediately said, I can't do that. And that's already a telltale sign to let me know you don't need to come work with me. If you're already in the space of saying, I can't do this, you don't need to work with anybody besides yourself and the Most High. Because if you have faith and you believe in the Most High and you know that He can do anything and all things because He literally creates and makes miracles, what are you saying you can't do something for? Why in the world do you think that you can't eat from the earth because it's provided by the earth? You think that you can't eat vegetation every single day that's provided by the earth? I'm not saying you have to eat raw fruits and vegetables every single day. But my point is that you think that you can't eat the vegetation of the earth. I cook. I make food. If you don't believe me that I cook, go look at my profile. There's food all up and down my profile. Go look at the first video that I pinned of my transformation of me going plant-based. I post a whole bunch of food in there as well as my transformation videos. So this is what I mean by it's all about starting with the mindset first, and then the mindset changes so that you take action. But when you are in the space of thinking that you can't do this and you won't do this and, oh, it's not going to work for me, then it's not going to. And so for the women that feel like that they're doing everything and they're not seeing a change, for the women that are sitting here believing that they have to manage and they have to use these band-aids, stop managing and start understanding your own body. Start understanding that you don't need another start over moment, but you need to start implementing in little itty bitty changes every single day. You need to remember who you are. The day that you feel good, the day that you have the energy, the day that you stop doing your cleanse the first day and you're still feeling great, remember that feeling. Don't remember the habits because the habits are not sustainable, but remember that feeling because you will keep that feeling when you have sustainable habits. But Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, keto, paleo, they're not sustainable because they're designed for you to flop back and forth between the good habits and the bad habits, which are the ones that you currently have, but you never changed any habits going to Jenny Craig. All you did was calorie count and restrict. You didn't change what made you toxic. You didn't change what was throwing off your gut. You didn't change what was making you insulin resistant. So in the end, when you are sitting here and you aren't getting to the deeper cause and you're not listening to these signs to get to the deeper cause, you're never going to have the change. You're going to consistently feel burnout. You're going to consistently feel the flare-ups. You're going to consistently have sleepless nights, being uncomfortable, dealing with fatigue, dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, dealing with panic attacks. But how you start is releasing. Not only when it comes to the foods that you eat, but also energetically, subconsciously releasing those terrible habits, retraining. This time, let this time be the life change. Let this time be the implementation of the little habits that you're needing. Your body is not broken. You're just not listening to it. And that's just fact on fact, because you're taught to not listen to your body. So many women think I can't get pregnant and there's something wrong with me. So many women are sitting here thinking that I'm anxious and I'm depressed all the time. I have to take a pill. There's something wrong with me. And y'all aren't realizing that a lot of these things will change if you change the foods that you eat. But you're not listening to your body. You're not listening to the signs. You don't see them as problems. You just see them as something for you to go to the doctor, cry about, and then get a Band-Aid, a pill, a prescription, some type of surgery. And then you move on about it. And then you put on this fake smile so that you can make it by. Stop doing that. Get the transformation that you were looking for by putting yourself on the front line instead of the back burner. And realize the fact that when you are doing momentary Band-Aid, you're never going to reach the destination of healing. But when you are ready to reach that destination, you'll start by first giving yourself clarity. And that's what I'm giving during this cleanse. This cleanse is going to give you clarity. It's called the Radiant Reset because you are supposed to be resetting your body, and you will feel radiant when you give yourself that simplification and that clarity. But you can't do that sitting back and being like, well, I can do it myself, and I don't need to do this, but I'll start next week, because you haven't done it for a reason. It has not worked for you for a reason. If you could do it on your own, you would be doing it and it would be happening for you. That's just like you sitting there seeing that your car is broken down outside, and you know that your car is broken down outside, and you need to do something about it. And you keep saying, well, I'm going to learn how to put that part on, right? I'm going to learn how to make my own gasoline, and I'm going to put that part on myself, and I'm going to make my own oil. Knowing that you have no business doing these things, nor do you know where to start or how to do these things. And so maybe you look something up on YouTube. You introduce yourself into it, right? You kind of get into it because you're like, I can do it myself. I know I can. And then you sit here and it's been a year. It's been 2. It's been 3. It's been 4. It's been 5. And you keep going and spiraling. Yet it's still sitting out there with no work. Maybe you tried a little bit, but it hasn't been fixed. If you could do it on your own, you would. And so this is my point. Is that you sitting around thinking that it's going to fix itself, or that one day you're just going to get a miraculous spark to be like, you know what? I'm going to go plant-based. I'm going to fix all the problems that I have. It's not going to happen. It's not. I didn't start just by being like, you know what? Today is a good day. And today feels like the day that I'm finally going to actually do something about this. I sat there and I asked the Most High and I asked the Most High. And you know what? I pondered on it for a minute. I swapped a few things, but I pondered on it for a minute. I don't know. I'm probably going to stop eating meat, but didn't think I was going to stop eating dairy. Within 6 or 7 months, one day, literally, he just told me within probably 4 or 5, you're done eating chicken, you're done eating this, you're done eating this. Started cutting slow things out. Oh, no more pork. I'm done eating pork. I was like, it don't even taste the same. I'm done eating this. Cut down to only chicken and salmon. By October, which is my anniversary date, I was only down to salmon. By the end of October, no meat was in my life. None. And I was a meat-eating girl. I'm from the South. I didn't sit there and decide, today I'm going to go plant-based and quit cold turkey. Because so many people do that, and then they don't stick with it. So many people do that because they're believing in diet culture, just like you have to do Jenny Craig Weight Watchers. I'm going to swap and I'm going to do it tomorrow and it's going to fix everything. I weaned myself off and I made myself comfortable to the point where it made me realize subconsciously, and I started consciously making the choices, I don't need this stuff. I'm okay. I don't know why these people are freaking out about protein when they don't even get the vitamins and minerals that they need on a regular day basis. Because that's all you hear when you first go plant-based. How do you get your protein? How do you get your protein? Oh my goodness, how do you get your protein? But I'm sitting here looking at you and I'm like, you don't get vitamin D, you don't get vitamin C, you don't get any of the vitamins that you need on a regular basis because all you eat is meat and rice. All you eat is meat and maybe a little bit of broccoli. Just keep eating dairy, and yet you're worried about how I get my protein. Because dairy don't even give you strong bones like they said, and they have come out and told you that they lied to you. So why are you still consuming dairy? There's no beneficial reason that you consume another animal's milk. None. But yet you keep doing it. So like really sit back and think about how you need to reintroduce yourself to the way that the body's actually supposed to be craving foods. At the end of the day, before I take questions and I leave you with this, at the end of the day, like I said, if you could do it yourself, you would. So the question is, why has it not happened for you yet? That's a simple question, because that's the question that I asked when I first went. If I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, why is it not working for me and why is it not happening? And I got the answer because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't getting the answer because it wasn't the path that I was supposed to be on. I wasn't doing what my body naturally is supposed to be eating to flush and reset. And a lot of people aren't doing that. And so then now you're sitting here confused of why you develop diabetes, why you have high blood pressure, why you're sitting here dealing with obesity and leading yourself down a path to being insulin resistant. You're sitting here trying to figure out why you're having anxiety and depression. The signs are there. The symptoms are there. Are you going to get to the root cause, or are you going to keep scraping the surface is the question. So what questions do you guys have for me? I'm going to give you about 1 more minute, and if I don't see any questions, I'm going to hop off. I'm trying to see how bad this heat is going to be because I wanted to go outside for a walk, but if the heat is going to be really, really bad, I'll probably go out later. Thank you for the follow, Veronica, and thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it. I might have to wait until later if it's too hot. I don't know exactly how hot it is because yesterday it was pretty hot. And I went out, I think around like 6-ish, and it was hot until about 6:15, and then it finally had cooled off, and I got to finish the rest of my walk in a non-scorching environment. No, she didn't fall asleep like this. This girl here, I'm telling you, if she could be in my skin, she would. She's like a literal human. Any questions for me at all? Any questions before I hop off? Any questions? I don't know what kind of, I don't know what kind of mushrooms you're assuming that are toxic. But no. Majority, there are thousands of edible plants, including mushrooms. We only know a handful of them. People can only list a handful of things because that's what's in their grocery store in front of their face. You've been lost in my water. So the misconceptions are not going to lead you down a path anywhere that is going to help you be able to heal. We have to get away from the training. So I'm not seeing any questions. I am going to... Lena, I'm going to say this because I'm not somebody who just goes and helps people be plant-based to lose weight. I love animals, but I didn't go plant-based to just love animals and to save animals. But rather understanding the fact that it's deeper than just wanting to lose weight. It's deeper than just saving the animals. If you're eating things, products specifically, that you don't know what's in it, you're eating processed snacks, if you're consuming dairy, if you're eating meat and you just grab it from the grocery store, you don't know how long it's been frozen, you don't know what it's been colored with, you don't know what's in the meat specifically to preserve it. How do you care for an animal more than you do yourself? And I'm not saying this is you, but I'm just saying these are questions that I asked myself when I first went plant-based, as well as many others that I talked to. How do we care for animals or any other being, if you have children, more than yourself, if you don't know what's in the food that you're eating? Because food is medicine. So if you don't know what's in it, what are you consuming? And so my thought process when I first went plant-based wasn't, oh, I just want to lose weight. It was my goal. Like, yeah, I want to look better. I want to lose weight. But when you're thinking about it, because that's only so far that can get you. You can do it for 6 months, lose weight. You're going to feel great. And then guess what? That meat kind of looks good. So you have to think about the long-term effects to sustain, and understanding the fact that I want to be healthy. And I don't like the weight that I'm at, and that doesn't make me feel healthy. Not only mentally, but physically. And so in order for me to sustain this health, I'm going to go plant-based. Not just for me to lose weight, but for me to sustain the space of feeling good and looking good, I want to go plant-based. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop eating animal products. I love animals. So I'm going to say, also, this is helping me be able to cater to the animals. Cater to myself, cater to the animals, and help my future children, or the children that I have now. Because it is a mental concept and a mental construct that we have to get through. And I know a lot of people have to deal with the mental first. That is something that you have to deal with first, and a lot of people can't get on their own. And so if you are one of those people, or if anybody in the chat is one of those people who is needing that support and they're needing that help, and you want to be in that space, that Life Living Intentionally Flowing Energetically Masterclass is going to help you be able to do that. It's linked in my bio. If you get that, because I do have that running, and I haven't really been talking about that, but I will talk about that. If you do grab that Living Intentionally Flowing Energetically Masterclass, for the rest of the month, I'll do that with also the cleanse. If you grab that now, grab that before the end of the month, you can book a one-on-one with me. You will get access to a one-on-one for the same price that you do with buying that masterclass replay, because it's going to help you be able to get into the energetic space and the mental space. And if you were looking for a cleanse, and you were looking for a reset and getting into the energetic space that you were looking for physically, I am doing a cleanse, and that cleanse is normally at $247, but for my birthday month, which is July, I do specials, and so it is at $111, but that is only for the rest of the month. After the end of the month, it will no longer be at that $111 price. It's going back up to $247, because I'm tired of us believing as people, not only but just in general, women, believing there's something wrong with our body when there's not. There's nothing wrong with your body at all. Your body was designed to thrive on this earth. So why is it not thriving? So that's why I said living intentionally, flowing energetically, because we have to live with intention for us to flow through life energetically. So what are the intentions that you're doing right now that is blocking you from that internal flow in an energetic space? So I'm not seeing any more questions. I think my dog has to go OUT. So if you have any questions about that detox, that cleanse, DM me, but it is linked in my bio. And if you are looking for that support with that Living Intentionally Flowing Energetically Masterclass, that Life Masterclass, and you want to get that one-on-one special, that is also linked in my bio. You will get the link to book the one-on-one afterwards, but that is only running to the end of July. After the end of July, which is what, like 2 more weeks, it's gone. It's not gonna be here anymore. So don't be sitting here crying about it when it's gone, because you had 2 weeks. So you can get everything with Klarna Affirmer Afterpay. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but I couldn't yesterday. So I'm going to try to be back. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow, but if it either be tomorrow or Wednesday, I try to give myself like a day of break in between sometimes. So I don't know how I'm going to be feeling tomorrow, depending on the heat. Just be, whoo, y'all, and I gotta work out. I gotta get my movement going. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of y'all's day. Thank you for the follows and the likes and the comments. I will see you guys in the next one. I was trying to think if I had anything. If you have not followed me on YouTube, or if you are on YouTube, drop any comments, any questions. I do post my lives on YouTube, so go subscribe if you have missed this. And now I'm out, y'all.